Fury outside the Supreme Court as American women lose the constitutional protection to get an abortion.
This is men dominating women as they have for centuries. But as we have for centuries, we're going to continue fighting. We will fight this. We'll see their ass in court.
You remember when the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade last June? Kind of a massive deal, right? Striking down the 1973 landmark ruling on abortion. Well, there is another decision about abortion that is being considered in U.S. courts right now.
So following breaking news out of Texas this morning, where a hearing is starting this hour that could cut off access to abortion medication across the country.
Today, a federal judge in Amarillo, Texas, heard arguments in a court case that could force the FDA to revoke its approval of mifepristone.
Amarillo, Texas, now at the center of America's abortion debate.
I believe that we will win.
Here, a group of anti-abortion doctors and medical organizations are suing the FDA, challenging the approval of Mifeprex, generically known as mifepristone, part of a two-drug regimen commonly used for abortions that's been approved by the FDA since 2000.
So as you heard there, this court case is centered around whether or not people should be able to access a pill called mifepristone. It's an FDA-approved drug, and taken alongside another drug called misoprostol, they cause an abortion during the first trimester with limited side effects. Now, these pills are one of the reasons that medication-induced abortions now account for more than half of all terminated pregnancies in the United States. So banning one of them could be huge.
There's no person in America who is untouched by this case, no matter what your feelings about abortion are.
And something like this has never been done before.
It would be unprecedented for a judge, a single judge, to say the FDA got it wrong 23 years ago. There's never been an instance where anyone has overturned the ruling of the FDA against the FDA's wishes.
So let's consider the fact that getting an abortion in so many states is so complicated now. If this decision to overturn access to the abortion pill goes ahead, it could make things all the more dire for those who are seeking access to safe care. And here's the wild part, that could actually take hold in states where abortion itself is legal. So what actually happens if this decision to stop the sale of the abortion pill across the U.S. goes ahead? First, let's talk a little bit about how mifepristone works. It's the first step in a medication abortion process, one pill in a two-part regime. Mifepristone blocks a key hormone, which essentially stops the pregnancy from continuing. Then, in part two of the process, the pregnant person takes a number of pills of the second medication, that's misoprostol, and that causes the uterus to empty out. But if half of that process is made illegal, that's a cause for concern because the single drug approach is less effective at ending pregnancies. So, how did we get to this point? Well, in November, a lawsuit brought by an anti-abortion activist alleged that the FDA didn't properly evaluate the safety of misoprostol before it was approved way back in 2000. It also alleged that the FDA shouldn't have made it available via telehealth during the pandemic. However, studies have shown that the two-pill regime has a very low chance, 0.4%, of major complications. The FDA says that it conducted a comprehensive review of mifepristone and found that it's safe to use. So the coalition of anti-abortion groups behind this suit has successfully requested a preliminary injunction to take mifepristone off the market nationwide while this case proceeds. Now, the New York Times has reported that the judge in this case, who was appointed by the former President Donald Trump, planned to delay alerting the public about this hearing. All of this leaves us with the question of what actually happens if this decision goes ahead and access to this gold standard medication, abortion, is restricted.
The FDA could start a process of withdrawing mifepristone, or the FDA could seek to reapprove it.
The impact of overruling the FDA's approval of mifepristone is far-reaching. Doctors and patients will not know if we can trust the national guidelines, which tell us to follow the standard of care.
Even if the drug is off the market temporarily, its impact will send waves nationwide. It's not clear yet how quickly access will be restored. So now we wait on that decision. It could come down at any time, and we will be watching. We have to take a quick break here, but when we come back, we're going to take a look at another story about why this avalanche season has been so deadly in British Columbia.
My